U.S., at 5:32 p.m. today.
And now, with round-the-clock updates from Reuters journalists, here are today's top stories.
From Sydney to New York, the world rings in a new year. Colorado's governor tours the devastation caused by unprecedented urban wildfires.
A jury finds drug maker Teva fueled opioid addictions in New York.
This is Reuters Now.
Sydney was among the first to welcome 2022, and while most of the world was forced to scale back New Year's celebrations, Australia's most populous city went full swagger with a spectacular fireworks show that lit up the harbour. It was a rare sight as splashy displays were called off at Paris's Arc de Triomphe, London's Trafalgar Square, and the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur. New York City celebrated with the annual ball drop in Times Square, but with just 15,000 spectators instead of the usual 58,000, masked up, socially distanced, and with proof of vaccination in hand. South Africa, first to raise the alarm about the fast-spreading Omicron variant, and now first to declare its Omicron wave had crested, lifted its nighttime curfew in time for New Year's Eve.
We are all about having a good time. We are all in, yeah?
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
Other parts of the world did their best to welcome a hopefully healthier 2022. Hong Kong featured fireworks and a concert by the Philharmonic. It was the city's first in-person celebration since 2018, due to both social unrest and the pandemic. And in North Korea, which has not confirmed any COVID cases, thousands masked up to watch a stage show and fireworks in Pyongyang. State media in December reported that the country introduced mask wearing and temperature checks as Omicron spread globally. And while restrictions scrapped most festivities in India, many celebrated in perhaps the most soothing way possible, by witnessing the final sunset of 2021. Colorado Governor Jared Polis flew over Boulder County on Friday to witness the devastation left behind by unprecedented urban wildfires. And while he called it a miracle that no deaths were reported, Polis said the community is struggling to understand how more than 1,000 homes were destroyed in about a day.
The last 24 hours have been devastating. It's really unimaginable.
Driven by wind gusts of 105 miles per hour, the fire moved at breakneck speeds across towns north of Denver. The wildfire injured at least half a dozen people and prompted the evacuation of tens of thousands of residents on Thursday. Officials said the winds have since died down and snow was arriving, and that they did not expect the fire to pose any more danger. The origin of the wildfires was not confirmed, but was suspected to be power lines, officials said.
The president called. He offered his support for the people of Colorado.
Governor Polis said that President Joe Biden approved a major disaster declaration to help residents quickly receive financial help following the fire.
France has now become the 6th country in the world to report more than 10 million COVID-19 infections since the pandemic began, according to official data published on Saturday. This news comes as health authorities in the country confirmed more than 200,000 daily COVID cases for a 4th straight day. France joins the United States, India, Brazil, Britain, and Russia in having had more than 10 million cases. French President Emmanuel Macron warned the next few weeks would be difficult, but during his New Year's Eve address did not mention a need for more restrictive health measures, adding that the government should refrain from further limiting individual freedoms. Meanwhile, the government said earlier on Saturday that from Monday, wearing masks in public spaces would be mandatory for children as young as 6. And some big cities, including Paris and Lyon, have reimposed the wearing of masks in the street for everyone.
A jury on Thursday found Teva Pharmaceutical fueled opioid addiction in New York State, a setback for a company still facing thousands of other opioid lawsuits around the U.S. The 6-month trial examined a case brought against the company by Nassau and Suffolk counties, which accused the Israel-based drug maker of engaging in misleading marketing practices that fueled opioid addiction in the state, including by pushing drugs for off-label use. Teva argued that it complied with federal and state regulations and denied engaging in deceptive marketing. The verdict could pressure Teva to reach a nationwide settlement with other states and local governments over opioid claims. U.S. officials have said that by 2019, the health crisis had led to nearly 500,000 opioid overdose deaths over 2 decades, and more than 100,000 people died from drug overdoses during a 12-month period ending in April 2021. The verdict does not include damages, which will be determined later. New York Attorney General Letitia James called the outcome a significant day for the state. Teva said in a statement that it disagrees with the outcome and will appeal. Company shares fell several percentage points in New York within a half hour of the decision.
You're up to date. Check back later as stories develop.